I'm joined now by Greg Smith, Managing Director at Fat Profits. Greg, welcome this morning. Just looking at what's going on here with BP, is the situation, it appears to feel like it's getting increasingly desperate now after Topkill failed. Is there a sense that BP just really doesn't know what to do next?
Well, I think it is actually doing all it can. Obviously, investors, those affected by the disaster, and the Obama administration and countless others are incredibly frustrated by what's happening. Topkill has failed. The next effort is this lower marine riser containment system, basically cutting away at the pipe and putting a cap on it. After that, we're really looking at the relief wells, which aren't going to be ready till sometime in August. So I think it is doing all it can. I don't think that there's anyone out there that can do any more than BP is doing, but certainly the screws are going to be applied from here on in.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think, as you say, everybody acknowledges that BP is doing what it can now, but as this disaster runs on, don't you think people will start looking at the bigger picture and say, hold on a second, if BP really had no idea what to do in this worst-case scenario, why had it not planned for this beforehand rather than scrambling around at this stage with attempt after attempt to cap this well?
Sure, and unfortunately, obviously, this probably is going to be the blueprint going forward. I mean, BP has been a leader in deep water drilling, and we literally are in uncharted territory, looking at trying to contain this mess, as it were. So yes, I'm sure going forward maybe there will be the idea of relief wells being drilled earlier or alongside existing drilling. For the moment, we're talking about what can be done now.
Indeed, and you know, President Obama has already said suspended some of the leases on projects in Alaska and also around the coast of the Gulf of Mexico elsewhere. He is going to come under increasing pressure not to allow this kind of drilling to go ahead until we work out a better way of containing oil.
Sure, well, it's a double-edged sword, really, because obviously America also has this battle with being energy independent, so you can't have it both ways. But certainly there's a moratorium on new permits, and there's going to be a lot more eyeballs focused on this going forward. So it is going to be a balancing act. I think it will be a test of his presidency. In the same way, it also will be a test for Tony Hayward. I think he'll become under increasing pressure and may well be the fall guy.
It's interesting you say that. People, indeed you said yourself that BP's doing everything they can. Will he still have to go? I
think the issue is this isn't an isolated incident for BP. It obviously is one of the most serious, but there have been other issues in the US over the past few years, and they've tried to address them. They've come under pressure to do so. We're talking about Texas City, we're talking about problems in Alaska as well. So it just seems that BP is unable to get things right from a safety perspective in the US. So I think that is now a serious issue.
If BP, if Tony Hayward goes, you don't think that BP will go as well, though? BP will survive this?
I don't think. I think some change in the upper management, a new broom, as it were. See, there's a lot of talk at the moment about BP, whether BP is a takeover target itself. I think we're some way off from that. It's historically one of the more profitable oil majors, has got a great portfolio. So I think if we look at some major changes in operational safety and procedures going forward, maybe some changes in top-line management, we could be looking at BP continuing to remain independent for now.
Now, almost every analyst is saying that BP is still a buy, despite dropping 12% today, or maybe even because of it. Is that your analysis as well?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it depends on your perspective. If you're looking at it as a longer-term investment, I think the sell-off we've seen, depending on what your assessment of the eventual costs will be, ours has always been around about the 10 billion mark, which I think is getting closer and closer the more we look at this. But whether it's 10 or whether it's 15 or 20 billion, if you consider what's been wiped off, I've already made the point earlier, a third of the market value has been lost since this incident. If you take that view and again rely on the fact that dividends will be there over the longer term, then I think BP is still an investment buy anyway, not so much a trading buy.
OK. Greg Smith, thank you very much indeed for that.